I'm Fungai Chiwarira and I'm the Analytics Manager at Kaomi Marketing, and this is our Analytics series. Today we'll be talking about 10 things that you need to know before upgrading to GA4. As most of you are aware, GA Universal will be sunset. So yeah, we just here to give you some insights as far as what you just need to be mindful of before migrating to GA4. Okay, one of the things that we have at the top of our list there are no more views in GA4. So GA Universal used to have views, and in Universal you had the ability to create views and see a subset of your data. For example, if you wanted to remove or filter out traffic within your company or organization, then you could create a view and apply a filter that removes all internal traffic, and then use that view to understand site usage as far as the actual visitors coming to your site are, excluding everyone in your organization. In GA4, you no longer have an option to create views, but instead there are different ways of creating segments, such as using the explore section that you can used to be called the analysis hub, or you can create segmentation using the segmentation feature, which allows you to narrow down on the data that really interests you. With the absence of views, Google has replaced those with data streams. So with streams, what you do is you can create a stream for all your website traffic, another stream for, say, all your app traffic. Essentially, with those streams, what you can do is, yes, the data streams are at platform level, essentially. So you can do it at iOS, at Android, website level and all that. But as far as the reporting is concerned, you can actually see all the data more like as a roll-up. So it's kind of like getting the roll-up feature on the free version. You can see all your data for your website, your app, all in that one reporting interface. Second on our list is that events. In Universal Analytics, you'd have to set up all events from scratch. In GA4, however, they are automatically tracked events, the likes of scroll, outbound clicks, downloads, engagement, say with YouTube embedded videos, on-site search. Those are now being tracked automatically using enhanced measurement. So you don't need to set that up as previously was necessary in Universal. These are set by default when you create a new GA4 property. You can disable them if you would like in the admin panel of GA4, but I would recommend leaving those on, as they are quite handy. Third on our list, site speed. Unlike Universal Analytics, Google Analytics 4 doesn't measure site speed. This is an interesting development because page speed has been a ranking factor in the past 10 years. That's why your best bet is integrating Lighthouse with Google Analytics 4, so you can keep monitoring and optimizing your site and page speed. Lighthouse is it's more like a plug-in that you can use to monitor your site's performance metrics, essentially your site speed and just the overall health of your site as well. So yeah, because we've lost site speed from the reporting interface, then Lighthouse becomes an essential tool in your arsenal. We also have data retention as the fourth item on our list. While Universal Analytics stored your data for an indefinite period of time, in GA4 it expires after 14 months. This is especially important to note for businesses that have got seasonal surges and lower seasons as well, right? For those who fit this criteria, then the best would be to compare your data, say, as an example, December 2021 against December 2020, rather than comparing month on month. Why? Because it doesn't, it's like comparing apples to oranges. If you're going to compare seasonality, then it has to be the same month, but obviously for the previous year. That's essentially what you need to do. And moreover, due to the new 14-month policy, it might be wise to start shifting the GA4 data over to BigQuery now, so that you won't miss any data should any historical data be removed by Google. So yeah, that 14-month period data retention is quite something to be very mindful of. You need to start pushing your data to BigQuery. Just a tip: when you sign up for GA4, by default the property is set to 2 months by default. So you would need to change the data retention in the admin area to actually 14 months. Otherwise, if you leave it for 2 months, then obviously after every 2 months, you'd lose that data. So it's vital that you change that to 14 months. Fifth on our list is GA4 is built on an event-based data model. The baseline unit of measurement in Universal Analytics is a hit. A hit contains information about a user's interaction with a web page. Hits are predefined in Universal Analytics and consists of page view hits, event hits, e-commerce hits, exception hits, user timing hits, and screen hits, like for apps. So opportunities to customize tracking of user behavior is limited due to it being hit-based. UA consequently relies on cookies to store and recall user interactions and transfer them into sessions, repeat visits, etc. In contrast, GA4's event-based unit of measure represents a fundamental data model difference compared to UA. The event-based tracking in GA4 greater flexibility and customization in measuring user interactions across organizations' online properties. GA4 is also a lot smarter due to machine learning, so that it isn't dependent on cookies for its tracking. And I'm sure most of us are aware that cookies are there's been quite a lot of changes as far as cookie tracking is concerned, and the life of a cookie is at the moment very uncertain. So ideally, moving away from cookie-based tracking was a smart move on Google's side. Sixth place on our list, GA4 is more user-focused and provides a more holistic view of cross-device behavior. If you have a website and an app, congrats. GA4 provides a more holistic customer view through cross-device and cross-platform abilities. Its event-based data model allows detailed tracking of user behaviors by appending custom parameters to each event. Here again, in the absence of cookies, machine learning plays a critical role in tracking and measuring user traffic, engagement, etc. GA4 is definitely a lot smarter, and with machine learning, it's just a whole different ballgame compared to UA. Beyond just tracking user behavior, GA4 will also help measure predictions, identify segments most likely to convert, and optimize on return. So GA4 is the way to go. The seventh item on our list is GA4 integrates event configuration within the analytics interface. So previously in Universal, you'd have to do that either in GTM or using site tag to set up events and all that. With GA4, a single tag in GTM is used for initial configuration, and the other events can all be set up directly within GA4, the interface itself. When creating or modifying events, up to 25 parameters can be added to capture more details, such as item name, item category for e-commerce, and page title, page location, and page referral for views. While GA4 events have no notion of category, action, and label as previously was the standard in Universal, These descriptors can be used as GA4 event parameters if desired, along with any other parameters that you need. GA4 does offer greater flexibility. There's also new challenges as organizations will need to develop a more disciplined approach to planning and implementing. And so you'd essentially need to use those parameters as wisely as possible, because if your tagging is not up to scratch, you can easily run out of custom dimensions to create within your interface to capture all these the values that will be sent through by the various parameters. So you'd probably need to sit down, have a holistic look at your tagging system, come up with a measurement plan, and then only then do you set out and implement the tracking in GTM, and then any additional updates within the Google interface itself as well. Eighth on our item, GA4 is still evolving and new features are still being rolled out. Since officially bringing GA4 out in 2020, it is now the default view for everyone setting out a new GA property. That said, Google has continued to evolve the functionality and new features of GA4 environment, offering deeper integrations to other platforms within the Google ecosystem and more robust functionality based on underlying machine learning capabilities, e.g. predictive audiences, which is quite a really cool feature, attribution settings. The bottom line is that the GA4 product we see today is far from being a final version, and ongoing improvements and enhancement can be expected. Definitely new features are coming to the new GA4 environment. Just hanging there if features that you were used to before aren't there. But some of the features that we are hoping to see are Google annotations. So yeah, we're keeping our fingers crossed. GA4 can and should be run in parallel. So that's the 9th item on our list. GA4 should be run in parallel with the existing UA properties. While the UA version of GA will be the primary source of truth for most organizations for the rest of this year, GA4 should be set up and run in parallel to any existing UA property. As noted above, data in GA4 environment is not retroactive, so it's advisable to begin building up a base of historical results. We need to set this up as soon as possible. Additionally, running UA and GA4 in parallel will afford organizations an adjustment period during which the results between the two platforms can be monitored and compared. So essentially, you kind of need to start looking at are we seeing the same sort of traffic in GA4 as well as in UA? Of course, there will be a bit of just differences and discrepancies here and there, but setting GA4 now ensures that by the time you have GA universally switched off, you're confident with your GA4 data and the environment as well. There is definitely a learning curve with GA4, and gaining familiarity with the environment sooner rather than later will help companies anticipate the likely impacts of a full migration over to GA4. And lastly, on our blacklist, organizations should launch their GA4 property as soon as possible. No matter how you feel about this completely new way of tracking website and app data, organizations using GA should launch their GA4 property today. As of now, UA will continue to be fully supported by Google, but with GA4 being the anticipated move as of 2023, and UA falling off, definitely moving on to GA4, which is going to future-proof your tracking, is definitely something that we recommend and we advise. It is worth the time and effort to begin getting comfortable with the new way of tracking, the new interface, and the new functionality of the tool. Here at Kaomi Marketing, that's what we specialize in. We've got a team of experts that can help you with migrating from UA to GA4, be it a normal ordinary site or an e-commerce site. you'd need to move all your events currently tracked in Universal Analytics. I'm Fungai Chiwarira, and I am the Analytics Manager at Kaomi Marketing. Stay tuned for more insights and subscribe to our channel, where we give you insights into Google Tag Manager, Google Analytics, and all things reporting and marketing. Reach out to any of our team members. We can assist you with all your marketing efforts. Thank you and stay tuned.